How you doing? All right. Revell 72 Tornado. It's just a 1 in 48, isn't it, Mark? That's just a little bit smaller. Nah. Well, if it's not, then what is it? Is it any good? Am I building it? Am I buying it? It's in my stash. What am I going to do? Some comparisons, okay, but primarily you have clicked onto YouTube and you've typed in Revell Tornado 1 in 72, and you're hoping that there's going to be some guy out there that's saying this is parts, this is how you cut them off sprue, this is decal sheet, blah, and all that sort of stuff. And to be absolutely honest, that tells you jack, okay, in my opinion. So let's do a 1 in 72 build first, as instead of comparing it to the 48. Very surprising, this kit, because there's 65 sections in the book that it takes to build it, and that does include weapons loadout and the 2 paint schemes that you can do, because there's one which is a camo wraparound version for RAF Bruggen in 1998, but in same B there's also a grey version for RAF Bruggen in 1998. Okay, the first one, the wraparound, that's 9 Squadron. The second one, the one that I've done, that's for 17 Squadron. And obviously, you know, there's a couple of differences. One's wraparound camo, one's grey, different insignia, different loadout as well, underbelly. But apart from that, obviously it's same bird. So how does it go together? I've got my sheet, okay, and I'll fly through it. And I'll tell you what I think. And then I'll compare it to a 48. And then I think also what I'm going to do as well, because I've done a 1 in 144, now I've done a 72, 48 and a 32, I can sort of tell you what it is. I'll tell you what a 72 is. A 72 is actually a scaled down version of a 32. In that, same manufacturer, Revell, and apart from the nose cone area, it's exactly the same kit. In that the pylon system is the same, the hardpoint system is the same, the afterburner bucket part on the back, that's the same, canopy's the same, it's all the same. It's absolutely 100% the same as a 32, not a 48. When you build this kit, you start with seats, and surprisingly enough, you would think, 72, you know, there's going to be like a bit of a seat, and it's going to be a quick paint job and one thing and another. And quite surprised, seat comes in 4 parts. So you've got a backrest, 2 sides and a seat. And what's the fit like? Fit is great. It goes together really nice. Don't get me wrong, it's fiddly because it's a smaller scale. I'm talking about having a pair of geeks, you know, you've seen them, on a magnifying glass. All good eyesight, better eyesight than what I've got, because I have to wear specs. But once them seats come together, painted up, no problems. As far as seat belts are concerned, moulded in, or you can add your own bit of masking tape, painted up, etc, etc. But no drama on seats. And then you're into your instruments, panels, and your tub, your backrest, and your little sticks, and one thing and another. And again, absolutely no issue, apart from they are smaller than 48, 32. Stands to reason, doesn't it? It's a 1 in 72 kit. Once you've got your seats in and you've painted all that, next is to put your undercarriage housing on, and that fits in a recess underneath your cockpit. So it's got locating bars and it basically glues on, simple as. Once you've painted inside of your cockpit tub sides, you can sort of put that together and then put your nose on. Now this kit does say 10 grams of weight, and we all use different things. Some use liquid gravity, some use them tyre weight, some use ball bearings, blue tack, whatever. And what is 10 grams? How much is 10 grams? I don't know. For me, it was 2 ball bearings and some blue tack in nose, and it's worked. Okay, so whether that's 10 or whether that's 20 or whether it's, you know, it can't be less than 10, can it? Otherwise it'll be sat on its ass. So I must have put enough in. 2 steel ball bearings. I got them off my old man because he decided to give them to George one year. Those little things there. Okay, along with the catapult. Not happening, is it? Once you've got your little bit of navigator's thing on at the back, again, that's exactly the same as 32. That's your office done. There's a decal pack for it, and obviously, you know, you've painted it and you put your decals on, microsol, microset, and all your other sort of thinning solutions that are available. But with them microsol, microset, they have adhered. They've gone down. Absolutely spot on. And again, if you're having canopy closed or canopy open, you can see that detail. So it is worth spending that little bit of time just to make sure that inside is right. Okay. Section 8 and 9 is the wings and the pylon system. Now, there is a C-clip. It is exactly shaped in the letter C, and once you've put your stem through the wing, the C-clip clips in and it stops it from falling out. However, it doesn't stop it from breaking off. But, you know, the choice is yours. Now, as it turned out, I did C-clip all my 4 hard points, but then half an hour later, number 1 snapped off because you are handling kit. And you're turning it upside down and one thing and another, but you think, oh, well, fair enough, I can lose one because I can glue the pylon on. What that does mean then is that on your wing system, where it goes in from full out to sweep in, that's not going to work. Obviously, if you've got static pylons, you're going to have static wings. And as a tornado builder, that's something that I have to accept. Unless I'm doing a 48 bird, because the 32 is exactly the same method, pin, C-clip. I usually put my hard points onto a static place, and then I will, where the wing glove is, I will also just add a touch of glue inside there, and I will put my wings in a static place. But what the question is, well, I don't want to do that, Mark. I want to be able to make my pylons move, and fair play, you can do. Word of the warning, though, once that pin and C clips in, you have to be very, very careful. Now it's loose. If you held the bird up and went like that with your hand, would it shake? Would it move? Yes, it most definitely would, because it's not the most fantastic method of hanging a pylon underneath a wing. Section 10, putting your wing gloves on, 11 a bit of a brace, and 12 is your rear stabilisers. And again, there's a bar that goes through the back of that and you're supposed to hot melt it. I've not done that. Mine are static, okay. Sometimes when we go to shows, I will take the odd kit with me, the odd kit, 3 or 4 dozen. And the last thing I want to be doing is, I do take a pot of glue. Don't we all? But, you know, I don't want to be having to get to a show, open my box and go, oh, for the love of God, and start having to sort of rebuild kits. So for me, nobody's going to touch that kit at a show, not even me. Do I allow people to pick it up and have a look upside down? Most definitely not. So for me, static hard points, it just solves the problem. Section 13 is putting your wings on. Now, your wings do come in 2 halves, and unlike the 48 ejector pin marks that I constantly bang on about on the 48 bird, the shrouds of plastic that stop the perfect marriage of the wings, what are they like on 72? There aren't none. How bizarre is that? On a 32, there ain't none. On a 48, it's absolutely rife. But on a 72, they're not there. So I don't know what that says. So section 13, put the wings on, put your rear stabilisers on, and then sit top on. And that's it then. Once you've sandwiched that in and you've put your wings in into your wing gloves, that's sort of like your back end done, and it's no drama, okay? And what's the fit like? Spot on, actually. Yeah, very good. If you've built a Tornado before, you'll know that once you've got that back end on, there's a cutout where it sort of like comes across, down and back, and that's always been a bit of a tricky area to fettle with a sanding stick, because there's detail on that part, on the lower part and on the upper part, and you have to be prepared to either rescribe or hands up, I will lose that particular panel line. However, the actual marriage of top to bottom, 10 out of 10, no drama whatsoever. Great, nice one. Section 15 is buckets and exhausts, and there's no option on this scale of kit to go buckets open, unlike the 48 bird. I'm comparing, and I said I wouldn't. So it's just a one shot affair. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 or 5 parts. It's rings on to the back of your burners, into your housing, into the back of your bird. So it's no drama. As far as fit is concerned, spot on. There's no gaps, there's no filler required. It just marries up really, really nicely, and that's great. That's what you want from a kit. Kits that have challenging issues, we all moan and bitch about, oh God, it's a shit fit, it's this, it's that, and you can get a little bit bogged down. And in some respects, you want it to be better. Could that be better? No. But in, done. Brilliant. And section 16 is putting your fin halves together. And again, that replicates what I said about the wings with ejector pin marks inside. There weren't none. So it's literally a sandwich. Don't forget to drill your holes out for the little aerials that go on either side. But on the other birds, the antenna that runs through next to the top of the fin, that's moulded into the fin on this particular scale. You don't have to cut a bar that's got like the extended sections on and slot it in and one thing. No, that's part of the fin. Fantastic. And I'm glad about that, especially on this scale. And then come to section 17, I'm going to offer it up for you. Come to section 17, you've literally got a Tornado build. Where's my camera? There it is. So that, look, that's section 17. So once you've popped your front end on, and again, it's a decent fit, and your fin and your wings are already on, and putting your cans on, no real issue, none at all. Didn't need no filler. You know, I've been out and bought a tube of filler. I've wasted £5. I digress. Section 18, what a surprise. I sound a bit sarcastic, don't I? But I'm not, I'll say it again. What a surprise. Air intakes. The 48 kit on air intakes is that much of a nightmare. Not only me, but other builders that have built Tornadoes have actually built the 48 kit up to that stage in such a way that it doesn't even look like what the instructions tell you to build it, because you have to bastardize it so much to make the air intakes fit. But before I started this one in 72, I'm sort of looking on thinking, I hope to Christ it isn't the same. And it's not. Air intakes is 2 halves, little bar in the middle, and the ram door that, you know, the sort of like how much air comes into engine. Once them sort of little 4 components are built together, it's literally in there, just sort of like slot it in. There's 2 pins and 2 holes. So your pins and your holes, like, let me have a think, how am I going to do this now? They're like that. And you just slot it in, slide it down until the first and second pin locate into them holes, glue it, mwah, perfect, brilliant. And why can't they do that on the 48? And you think, I wish they'd do that on 48, but they haven't. So 18 and 19, sticking them in. There is a couple of areas on this build that are out of sequence, and I talk about that on a 48 as well, because section 21 is telling you to add these two little antennae here at the back, which any complete and utter novice builder might do. Anybody that's got a little bit of ounce about them will think, if I put them on now, stage 21, and I've already said that there's 65 runs on this kit, they're going to break off. So it's a part that you put on later. 22 is air brakes, up or down. There is a tiny little bit of flash around the air brakes. When you're looking and you want a positive, true, straight, flush, edge, hard core, on this particular kit, it will more like a woolly pair of trunks instead of a pair of Speedos. Does that make sense? They were like, I wish they'd have been a little bit sharper. However, a little bit of fettling, sanding stick, smooth it off all the way around. They've gone in. They're not perfect. I suppose in hindsight, and I have got them closed, you can see. In hindsight, if I'd have probably lifted them up with a little bit of fettling, they might have looked a bit better. The fit isn't, it's not 100, it's not perfect. It's high 90s, 94, 95, that's mid 90s. But when you come to put those air brakes in, they're not perfect, okay? Word of warning. And 23 is doing it other side. When you've done that 24 undercarriage, front undercarriage first, couple of parts, wheels on, light on front, all right, okay, it works. 25 is fitting it in, and 26 and 27 is showing you the option of doors open at the either side of your main undercarriage strut, and there's always a back brace at the back. But again, stage 26, in my opinion, should be stage 76. Okay. And 27 is just showing you how to put them on closed. So, no big problem there. Was it a good fit? Good enough. All right. 28 and 29, 30 and 31, well, all the way through, really. So, 28 to 37 is your main undercarriage, and typical of Revell on, well, any goddamn scale of tornado, they haven't made it easy. I suppose that sums it up, really. They haven't made it easy. It's a leg brace, and then there's a part coming off it, sort of like at an angle like this, down to a stop, and then there's another tiny little piece that sort of goes like that, and you'd think, I wish that they'd just sort that out, because not a nightmare, but a goddamn nightmare. But mine's down on wheels, so it must have worked. Even though I've been building for 5 years, I can lose it. We all can lose it, can't we? Like, for, you know, I'm not going to sweat. And that is definitely one of them parts that you've got to go, right, breather, here we go. Right, because it's not the actual part either, is it? You know as well as I do, it's that. It might as well be in a completely different language to what you're used to reading, especially with a diagram, because a diagram angle can look like it's going this way, but when you come to dry fit it, well, it actually should be that way. Does that make sense? However, patience. Breathe, boy, breathe. And I did manage to get it in. Do you know what's worst about that? You do one side and you think, yeah, thank the gods I've done that. I've got my leg brace, I've got my strut, I can see the angle part, I've put it on. One tiny little dab of glue, I'm offering it in, yeah, lovely. Glue it up, sounds a pound. It's like, yes, conquered the world. When you come to do other part, then you sort of sat scratching your head thinking, now hang on a minute. So if that one's that way and that way, does that mean that this one is that way, and that way? And it's like, for Christ's sake. And it can do your head in, can't it? Can it? Or is it just me? Don't say it's just me. You know what I mean? Anyway, right then. 36 and 7 is your doors. You have to be careful with that. There's good locating pins on it, and actually for a change, there's good locating areas for them to go in as well. But again, you just have to be careful, and it might be a touch of super glue. And again, it's a patience part, that once you've got it on, and again, as you're a builder, and you know, once you hold that part on and you think, I've been holding, your brain's going into it, I've been holding this on now for 15 seconds, it's got to have took, it's got to have taken, and you let go, and what happens? It goes, yeah, I've taken, no, I haven't. Like that. All right, so I'll get a little bit longer. 38 and 39 is putting your little bits on it front that make it a GR1 and not a GR4. 40, again, little bits at bottom. 41, attaching canopy, which you've already masked for your paint job. Now, you can go canopy open on this bird, and there is the window strut, which is a nice touch. 43 is your refueling boom, and I've got mine in closed position. Okay, I didn't want to faff about with this one, it's so tiny. And 45 and 46 are pylons. I said pylons, they're the rails for under the belly. Okay. 48 through to 54. Missiles, 1500 litre tank. Hindenburger 2250 litre tank. Sky Shadow, that sort of shit, you know what I'm on about. What's the fit like though, Matt? Get your sanding sticks out, boys, because every single one of them that I've just said, BosPod, it needs sanding at either side, but when you marry that together, tanks, seam, sand them off. Sky Shadow, seams, they all need sanding. They all need sanding. £1,000 free fall bombs underneath, what they're like, they need sanding. I'm not saying, no, they're not. Am I saying it? Fit's not great. Fit's not great. Okay. You might be building this kit and you might have it in front of you and you might pick that part out and go, what is he on about? Fit were fantastic for me. There's a level of acceptance, I suppose. For me, fit's not great. I don't mind having to get a sanding stick out. It's part and parcel of the job. But there's a difference between wanting to and having to. I'm not a perfectionist by any means, but it's one of my big bugbears, and people know that. Seams. I see seams on a kit, schoolboy error. They're not supposed to be there, and we've got filler, knives and sanding sticks, and the level of acceptance is, if you've been building for quite a while and you've got seams all over your kit, that's lazy. Simple as. If you're new to it and you've got a seam and nobody's told you and you haven't had a look on YouTube at videos and it's like, well, I've put it together and it looks all right, that's absolutely fine, because on your next kit, you might look and you might post it on social media and somebody will say to you, ooh, nasty seam line there, mate. Bit of a sand, you'll get rid of that. Bit of filler, you get rid of that. But you'll build for years and years and years and years and years, and you're leaving seams on. No excuse. On this particular kit, Ordnance, the seams. So get ready, because you have to sand them off. You don't have to sand them off. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. But, you know, get rid of them. 57 laser guided bomb. Seam. And little fins and the nose at the front. And do you know what? This is my tubs box. And they're still in, because they're shit. And then 58, I'm going to offer it up because, where's my number? It's there. 58. There's a couple of missiles there, and I've got absolute, I know it says 82, whatever, because it's back to front. I've no idea what they are. But they're a lovely fit, I can tell you that. And then 50, if you know what they are, where's it gone? There, look, 58. I'll leave it there for 10 seconds. If you know what they are, drop a comment below and let me know exactly what they're called. You don't have to, but it'd be nice to know. 59 is weapons loadout configuration, because like I said, there's 9 squadron and 17 squadron. So 9 squadron has them on. Don't forget, I've done a 17 squadron and I've put them on. The reason that I've put them on is because them GBUs are... And then your 17 squadron call out. Section 61 is an alternative. So one's showing GBUs, one's showing freefall bombs. And obviously it's got self-defense, a couple, I think the Sidewinders, aim 7s, aim 9s, and again it don't tell you. This is an old kit, and I suppose when you're looking at instructions for such as a Zukimura kit this day and age, you know, or even a Tamiya kit, an up-to-date modern kit, it will, you know, I mean, with Zukimura, it won't just tell you what they call it, it'll tell you, you know, length, depth, how much it weighed, what warhead it carried, how fast it went, all job lot. So for Revell in this particular kit, just to show you a diagram of a missile and not even tell you what it is, it's a bit like, it just shows age at kit really. 62 is your stencil call out, okay, and telling you where to put all them, and same as 63. And 64 and 5 are your colour call outs of which colour you're going to do. So you've typed it into Google, Revell 1 in 72 tornado and GR1 tornado, and what you want to know is it a good kit? It is a good kit. It is a good kit for not just for a 1 in 72 builder, but you know, for people that build 1 in 48 and want to have a go at a 72. Is it a good kit? Mark, am I going to waste my money? No, you're not. Actually, it's all right. It goes together really, really well. Couple of issues. Number one was the decal pack, which I will talk to in a minute. And number two, I suppose, for me, is just a sort of lack of detail in that flaps are moulded into wing, the buckets are moulded into the sort of exhaust area at the back. The guide that tells you in what sequence to build it is a little bit old hat. It's a little bit, you know, they might as well have said put your pitted tube on stage 4. Just not good enough. Just not good enough. However, that does not in any way shape how the kit looks once it's built. Once the kit is built, it's a decent kit and you can put your paint job on it and you'll bring it to life. No drama, no problem at all. And then finally then the decal pack. I were a little bit disappointed with decal pack. Now, I'm not a rivet counter by any stretch. You'll look at some of the stuff in my cabinet, you know, I've got an A10, a red tail A10. What's that all about? But over the last couple of kits that I've built, I have noticed that there's some of the decals that you get with kits these days are out of scale. It is that simple. And the decal pack for this particular kit, the majority of it is sort of over here. Because, I mean, look at all that. Because when you look at it and you think, by the bloody hell, that looks big. And again, if you're at decal stage on this kit and now you're watching this video and you look at yours and you go, they don't look big to me. I've got my opinion, you've got yours. To me, they look big. The no steps, they're massively out of scale. If you went to somewhere like Hannant's and ordered an aftermarket decal pack, you would see exactly what I mean. And then the last disappointment was the actual tail art itself for the number 17 squadron. The badge that you get to put on the tail, it's naff. It's absolutely naff, mate. Proper naff. Once you've got all your little points on, you've given it a primer coat, and then you've pre-shaded or black based or whatever, and you get a top coat and you stick everything together. What's it like? Could I correct the kit? Apart from them decals, it actually builds up really, really nice. The bits of plastic go together really, really well. Okay, so could I correct the kit? just them decals, mate. Just watch them decals. If you're happy with them, that's fair enough. Turns out I wasn't. And then my last question is, would I build it again? But the answer to that, as usual, is no. And the reason that I wouldn't build it again is very, very simple. It's not my scale. I do 48, 32, 24. 1 in 144 I don't do. But I've done one just to show that I can do it. 1 in 72, unless it's something like a massive aircraft like the blinder that I've got up there, that would just be absolutely enormous in 48. Is there even a 48 version available of that? For the majority of the kits that I want to build, fast jets, would I build that again? No, I won't, because I'll do a 48 first and a 32. Okay. However, as far as, Mark, you still haven't answered the question. I want to build a 1 in 72 Tornado. Yes or no, mate? Come on, stop fannying about. Yeah, absolutely spot on. For 15 quid, 18 quid that it costs, I won't pay more than 18. For that amount of money, can you go wrong? No. No, you can't go wrong. Just because I won't build it again don't mean that you can't go wrong. For the extra 5, 6, 7 quid, you can get that, which is flaps, buckets, slats, better office, da-di-da-di-da, droning on. So that's why I won't build that 72 again, okay? But it's been fun, I've enjoyed it, and it's tick in my bucket list. 44, 72, 48 and a 32 now, okay? Next up, my King Tiger, my Airfix one. I've just started it. So we'll see how that one comes together. Shout out to Andy at Zone 5 in New Zealand. Hope you're well, mate. And then all my usuals as well. Ev down at Red Dragon Modelers in Wales. If you're down in that neck of the woods, definitely check them out. Clive's modelling channel as well in Surrey. Clive, we chat regularly, mate. Not regularly enough though, but hope you're well, mate. Rob in Medicine Hat. Captain, me and you, absolutely spot on, mate. It's lovely catching up with Rob. Paul in Liverpool, Distance Member Supreme, absolutely love him to bits. Zach in Texas, mate, I'm going to need your help with that tank at some point. And then everybody else that knows me, everybody, stay safe, take care, catch you next time. Cheers.